Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Body, Mind, and Wallet episode tonight. We're so excited all of you have joined us tonight. Thank you for taking time out of watching the elections. I hope this is an uplifting and positive time for you. I know it's going to be. You're going to hear some really exciting information. I am Senior Ruby Ambassador Anna Rose, and I am here with my co-host,
Nancy Webster. I'm also a Senior Ruby Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide.
And I just wanted to say, you've probably seen in our last episode that my mom and I were together, sitting together. Well, now my travels have taken me on, and my husband and I are now in Oregon, where we're planning to live for 6 months or so, and spread the love of Plexus out here. There's a lot of people who are health and wellness minded out here, and into being fit and active. And so we're super excited about spreading the good news of Plexus out in the Northwest Coast area. So I'm going to let my mom introduce to you tonight our guest speaker. So go ahead.
We are totally excited to introduce Rikki James. And Rikki is a mom to 5 kids, 13 and under. So she's a busy lady, but she's also super smart. She started studies for being a naturopath, but then the little people started coming. And so now she's just a lay naturopath, meaning that she studies all the time. She's just not certified, but she knows a ton. And she got to attend the Truth About Cancer Symposium that was put on by truthaboutcancer.org, an international, quickly growing alternative health approach to treatment of cancer and prevention of cancer. Anyway, she got to go to their live symposium in Dallas about a month or so ago and learned some totally cool, totally exciting stuff. And so she's going to share, and I'm not going to talk anymore because we want to hear from Rikki during this 30 minutes. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, so yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Like Nancy said, I've got 5 kiddos. I am originally from Texas. We just moved from Austin, and we are traveling for the year. So we're currently homeless, traveling for mainly for Plexus, kind of the same as Anna's doing. We're just sharing the love everywhere we go. But I've, like Nancy said, been in love with natural health and healing for almost 11 years now. It is my love and my passion, and yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with it. And it's really my number one love, even before Plexus. So to be completely honest with you guys, I was a little bit nervous going to this event because I really did not want to go and hear from, which, let me back it up. I'm not sure if you guys know anything about the Truth About Cancer, and it's actually the truthaboutcancer.com is where you can go to see a lot of those. It might be .org as well. I don't know, but I know for sure it's .com. And they started out, well, Ty Bollinger started out years ago writing the amazing cancer book, Stepping Outside of the Box, something like that. And that was a great book in and of itself. But then they did, just a few years ago, this 8-part documentary that was amazing, showing how you can heal cancer naturally, and how we have been completely lied to, in that these conventional treatments, not only are they not working, but they are, in many cases, causing cancer. So anyway, the original series was amazing. So the minute that I heard they were doing this live symposium, I was there. It was a really crazy time for me. We were in the middle of moving, and it was thankfully only about 3.5 hours from my house, but it was from 8 in the morning, about 8:30 till 6:30, and it was all day long, packed full of speakers. And I'm talking huge, amazing names in the natural health and wellness industry. Many of these people started out as allopathic doctors, your traditional doctors, and even started clinics and everything. The places that they worked were completely normal, if you will. And so it wasn't until they started failing their patients that they chose to look elsewhere and decided they wanted to do things differently. So that's how most of these doctors were. There were 40 plus doctors, speakers, scientists at this event. Mercola, Josh Axe, Jordan Rubin, a lot of the people that I've followed for years, crispycancer.com. So anyway, they were, it was amazing. I was in tears most of the time because it's really, really awesome to see everything that I've learned be confirmed from these doctors. So, and speakers and scientists or whatever. So each of them, I'm just going to concentrate tonight on things that they said and how they pertain specifically to Plexus. That way, because otherwise I cannot condense 3 days all day long into, this short of a time period. And so we're totally sticking with Plexus. But so the first thing that everybody focused on, every one of these guys said, was inflammation. That was number one. And a lot of times it just went hand in hand with stabilizing your blood sugar. Every one of them. I'm talking, they would get up there, they would get started, and they would bring up a huge, thing on the screen that was saying, inflammation is deadly. And you must become sensitive to your insulin, and then it would give ways how and things that you can do how. And chromium was mentioned more than once. Which was, obviously that's one of the main ingredients in the Slim. And they were stressing on how it is difficult to balance your blood sugar with diet alone. And we found that. I think all of us found that. And even me being huge into natural health and healing, after the birth of my 5th child, my first 4, I bounced back quickly. It was really easy for me. It was no big deal. I didn't even think that I needed Plexus or anything like it. And after baby number 5, who was a surprise C-section, chronic inflammation, you guys, chronic inflammation. I had mastitis like 7 times. I was exhausted throughout the day. I was so tired, but I couldn't sleep at night. Same story as so many of us. Gave Plexus a try. My little guy was about 8 months old, and it changed. It was mind-blowing how quickly this reduced my inflammation. So before this, I had tried specific diets to reduce inflammation. And again, these guys definitely talk to diet as well. And how that is very important, but you can really put out a fire quite a bit faster with these amazing supplements. So again, him talking about, so this all just fell into place with me. Let's see, my little guy is 18 months old. So I've only been on the products about 10 months. So yeah, so, and I'm right now Ruby and very close to senior Ruby, because these were, mind-blowing products for me. I've tried to help people again in the past 11 years. I've been doing this, but in the past 10 months, I've helped more people find great health than I was able to in the previous 10 years. So anyways, back to chromium. This was mentioned by several people. I'm looking at my notes so that I don't forget my favorite things that I want to tell y'all. Chromium was huge. Aloe. Okay, so then we got into, right after we talked about inflammation. And so eating is very important if you have chronic inflammation, that you're not negating the use of your Plexus and your Slim by eating like crap. Okay. You don't want to eat fast food and junk, because GMOs were also really huge. The science and the studies and everything that came out on GMOs was really, I knew they were bad. Obviously, I think all of us know that the GMOs are bad, but it was really shocking to see what this is doing to our health. So to know that our products are non-GMO was huge to me too. Especially after hearing about how devastating this is and how many times GMO and cancer are linked, so knowing that our products are non-GMO was beautiful, truly, to me when I was there. And I've been assured by several people high up that they are non-GMO, and hopefully we'll have that labeled in the next year or so. But knowing that we are sourced from all natural and plant sources, that we are not using synthetic ingredients, so that because that is what a lot of these doctors talked about as well. It's not just specific, vitamin B or whatever that we need. It's the specific type. So I know, I'm not sure how many of you guys have gotten to even the whole MTHFR thing, right? That genetic mutation and the B vitamins and the folate and the folic acid. So these guys talked about that some as well. This is all just in the last couple of years has this become huge, the folic acid controversy, if you will. And that was brought up a lot. So again, huge, proud moment to know that Plexus was one of the first, if not the very first company in the world to offer a multivitamin with fully methylated folate. So for those of you that don't know, folic acid is what has been recommended for years and years and years, because it was going to help all these people becoming pregnant to not have these issues. Babies would be born with all these issues, ended up, so we started putting this in like our cereals, and now if you go grab some Cheerios on the side, it's going to have folic acid. Well, our issue is we think we're smarter than God. That's kind of what this whole Truth About Cancer thing was about, is us thinking, oh, it's too simple. Natural healing is too simple. We're smart. Let's figure this out and fix this on our own. When in reality, the one huge thing that made me like weep so many times during this, I was literally crying during this event, is that God is good. And we are so intricately made. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. And our bodies know how to heal themselves. Not only that, but they respond so well to what God has made and what God has provided for us. We do not need these crazy interventions in our body. Our bodies don't need them. They don't do well with them. Folic acid, circling back around because I kind of ramble, that is a great example. So we decided as men, we're having all these issues. So instead of getting these women with real folate that they need, we started supplementing with folic acid and adding it in everything and putting it in these prenatals. Now we're finding that folic acid is directly related to some of these higher asthma, allergies, autism, because it's not in its proper form. It's synthetic. So our bodies don't do well with synthetic. The folate that is in our X factor is fully methylated, which means it's bioavailable. The minute you take it, you're going to be able to use it, which is huge, huge. You don't want to have to worry about the added burden on your liver or on your body to have to make it where you can even utilize it. So X Factor was amazing. Another huge plus on the X Factor that blew me away was the addition of aloe. So aloe was talked about a lot. I'm trying to remember, who was it? Scott Bell, I believe. Yeah, Scott Bell talked about, again, Candida, and how Candida is ruining us and ruining our gut health, and but how one of the main ways that he helps his people to heal from these gut issues is aloe. And so again, that's another ingredient that's in our X Factor that you're going to be getting daily anyway. So the way that he helps with Candida, so I'm going to throw a few of these things out there for you guys, because if you know someone that's struggling with Candida and they're not getting rid of it with our ProBio alone, we'll get to that in a second. I want you guys to take notes so you can just have a few little supplements that are not expensive that you can add on to our protocol to make it more effective, okay? Because that's what I've been doing with a lot of my girls and guys both, that if something's not, if you need a jump start, or if you want to like heal from your Candida faster or something, then there's a few things you can add on. One of them, he went over the Sovereign Silver. So and specifically that's the brand that you want, because you won't turn blue. Everybody's always seen that, like, take too much colloidal silver, you'll turn blue. So the way his is processed is differently. And that's a really great way. That's something you can add on to your winter regimen to help kill viruses and sickness. And it also helps with overgrown Candida. You can spray it on topically. You can take it internally. So that's something great to just add to your regime. But the ProBio 5 was amazing. When I was so proud again of this probiotic, because we talked about some of the specific strains, and every time they would talk about a strain, I would look at my probiotic and be like, oh yes, so it was in it. So we have the 5 strains that we have are great. They are 3 of them are the top strains that were recommended at this event, which was super exciting to me. And then on top of that, the enzymes were again talked about by Roby Mitchell. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but Dr. Roby Mitchell, I'll get into his stuff in a minute, but he talked specifically about some of the enzymes that are in our probiotic. And then on top of it, that you have the yeast killer, because all of you already know how harmful Candida is. I'm kind of speaking to all of you. I'm assuming nobody on here is hopefully like a first time watcher, because I'm kind of speaking to most of you guys, like, you know what I'm talking about already. Like, hopefully all of us have already learned about leaky gut at this point. If not, ask the person that invited you and they can kind of fill you in. But for time's sake, I'm not going to go into huge detail about those things, but I'm explaining that they talked about, like, every one of the guys talked about leaky gut. So again, this is just when the Candida that you're born with becomes overrun and starts eating holes in the lining of your gut. So that's what we're talking about here. And we're talking about trying to kill off that yeast. Candida equals cancer. They talked about this over and over. Every patient in this study that they had done, where they were doing autopsies after the fact, they would open up the body, overrun with Candida. Every one of them, Candida or fungus. So these cancer patients, something that goes hand in hand with cancer is Candida and fungus every time. Another one was talking about when you would go in to remove tumors, there would always be some sort of overrun fungus or Candida along with that as well. So there was not one story where the guy said, yeah, well, open it up and there was no Candida. No, it's always there with the cancer, always there with the cancer. So that should be very telling to you guys on how serious it is if you have a yeast issue or a Candida issue and how you want to get it under control. So the antibiotics, this was a huge, very true, but a wow moment was when they said antibiotics are chemotherapy. What? You're like, what? But yeah, that's the truth. If you think about what chemotherapy is, it goes in to kill cells, wipe out. It doesn't differentiate between good cells and bad cells, right? That is exactly what antibiotics do to our gut. They do not differentiate between good guys and bad guys, and they wipe them all out. Over and over, these guys were saying antibiotics, if there's one thing you can do to run your health so fast, it's get on an antibiotic. Time and time again, they said antibiotics should be reserved for life-threatening illness, like last resort, not ear infections, not sinus infections, not bladder infections. No, because bladder infections, sinus infections, ear infections are always yeast and Candida and fungus. So that's huge. But not only is that huge, that's really empowering, you guys. It's empowering that you can take your health into your own hands, right? It's amazing. So focus on killing off your Candida. There are some little tips, again, like the colloidal silver or the sovereign silver. They have a nose spray, which also I've had people in the past snort their probiotics, like one or two if you have a really bad sinus infection. But the same, if you're needing that extra boost, my main two supplements I'm going to recommend tonight would be the Sovereign Silver and the second one. So Roby Mitchell, I really love this guy. He was from Amarillo. He had lots of amazing testimonials from his patients and his practice. And he focused on, of course, inflammation and gut health, like everyone at the entire event did. But so the really cool fact, though, that I did not know is that many times yeast and Candida are also linked to a sluggish thyroid. So if you have a naturally low body temperature, then it's really hard to kill off Candida. And this is kind of just good information for you guys to have. So if you take your body temperature regularly and you're not at 98.6, it's going to be difficult for you to actually kill off that Candida. So one of the things Josh Axe recommended, this was kind of funny too, is he said, whatever your probiotic says on the side, take ×4. Like whatever the serving size says, you need like ×4 of that, because that's how important our probiotics are. That's how deficient we are as a nation, and that's how many you need. So again, that was crazy, but every one of these guys went really emphasized probiotics killing off yeast. So back to Roby Mitchell. The other supplement he recommended to help your gut and help your yeast thrive, your yeast die and your probiotics thrive, was hydrochloric acid. And this is like $15 a bottle. So this is a really non-expensive way to help your Probio 5. So this is not replacing your Probio 5. This is basically your stomach acid. So as we go along and your yeast are going crazy, which you could also be born with low stomach acid. This is happening more and more with mamas who have low thyroid. In turn, they have a baby. The studies that he was talking about in this and his personal practice as well, like the patients in his practice, they were having children, babies with little to no stomach acid being born. And the correlation was between this. So he talked about the thyroid connection and the stomach acid. So adding the stomach acid, this hydrochloric acid, which you can get at you can get on Amazon or any health food store for really cheap. It helps your probiotics thrive. You're giving it an environment where your probiotics really, really thrive, and it really helps kill off that yeast. Exercise is a great way to get your body temperature up, and the hydrochloric acid helps as well on that, and making sure that your thyroid is working properly. All of these are going to be really great ways to make you get the most out of that Probio 5, the very most out of your probiotic. It's going to really help to kill the yeast. It's going to really help to make sure that probiotic is thriving and growing and doing its job. So those are the 2 supplements, just so you guys remember, the Sovereign Silver and the hydrochloric acid that I have started recommending to a few of my people who are treading water when it comes to getting rid of that yeast, because it's that important. It's really that important that you get rid of that candida by any means necessary and really, really quickly. And again, if you have, whether it's a bladder infection, yeah, you can go get on antibiotics and your bladder infection might go away for a week or 2, but I promise you it's going to come back even more severe the next time, because you're killing off all your good guys. So you've got overgrown candida and it's everywhere, head to toe. Some of the stories, you guys, of healing, on just killing off their candida were mind-blowing. You just would not believe how intertwined this is with serious diseases. So again, probiotic, hands down, you must take. The next thing was magnesium. Over and over, everybody again talking about. So obviously our BioCleanse has magnesium in it, and it also has a really great form of magnesium, which is the oxygenated form. So we're also oxygen deplete as a nation. We sit too much. And again, I know you guys know this, but I'm going to reiterate. This is not, we're not replacing good diet and exercise with Plexus. Plexus is in addition to a good diet, an exercise routine, then you're going to have really, really amazing results. So if you're working out along with the probiotic and the magnesium that's oxygenated, that can boost your oxygen levels, which is amazing. That'll helps you become alkaline versus acidic. Again, cancer cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. So it's really important that you keep your body alkaline. Great ways to do that are juicing and eating lots of great fresh fruits, vegetables, some nuts and seeds and that sort of thing. So I think the 80-20 or so is what the suggested alkaline type diet is. Okay, but I'll also say every one of these doctors, there's 40 something of them, they all had different ways of healing. Roby Mitchell focused on the hydrochloric acid and the thyroid. He had amazing results in his clinic. Mercola, he talked about, his was all about stabilizing that blood sugar. Let's see, what did he say that I loved? Your health and your lifespan are determined directly by whether or not your body will burn fat or burn sugar. That's huge. So what he's talking about there is a standard American diet. What most people are doing is they're eating these things high in sugar constantly. Their blood sugar is always crazy, and they're constantly burning sugar. Their bodies don't know how to burn fat. That's where these products come in line as well. They're helping your body to burn fat and not the carbs and the sugar or even your muscle. And that is really, really important and really key here. So I hope you guys are getting all this. It really excites me because these are all such good points, and it's 30 minutes of like me really rambling. So I hope you're taking notes and because it's so much information, but it's so important. So again, so then Mercola talked about really low carb, like he did his mainly with diet and a few supplements. Everybody had their own way. Crispy's Cancer showed exactly what his protocol was. And then a couple of these other doctors had their real specific. Scott Bell, his was the aloe and the silver. So my whole point here, okay, is that there's not always one way for everything. Something, you're going to want to adjust things for each body and each person. That's really important. Secondly, another thing, every one of these doctors that I haven't touched on yet is your emotional state. So this is going to be really key for you guys in the business as well. What you speak daily, what you speak over yourself, what you speak to each other. Forgiveness was huge. Every one of these guys said the number one thing, the number one reason people in their clinic did not heal of cancer was because they refused to change emotionally. They would not forgive someone. They should have, by all means, been able to heal themselves. They should have been able to get healthy, and they wouldn't, and they couldn't because of their mindset. Wow, how huge is that? This goes right along with with you and your Plexus business even. How many times are you sabotaging yourself on a daily basis, right? Whether it's with your health or with your Plexus business. Truly, I saw these guys, and so many of them also said, we have patients come in and I would kick them out. I'd say, if you're not going to do what I say, and if you're not going to change your mindset and take all of this seriously, I don't have time for you, right? So part of this is taking control of your life yourself. This is all about you, right? Like, you're the one that's in control of your health. You're the one that's in control of your future. No more excuses. End of story. Whether it's your health or your Plexus business, it's really important that you know that everyone around you has come into some sort of financial or traumatic situation in their life, and nobody's really allowed to use excuses, because we all have them. So it was really beautiful how I would say 85% of these guys were Christian, and we prayed we prayed every day at the beginning of the day that the truth would be shown, and that these people could leave empowered in knowing what and how we were created, and find the answers that they needed to find. But it was so interesting to me how this whole event was not just about supplements and diet and procedures to kill cancer. They were very important. They were very specific in saying that if you're not willing to work on yourself, you're not going to get well. End of story. Like, no two ways about it. There's nothing you can do, whether it be chemo or whether it be juicing for 2 months. If you are not willing to step back and look at your life, and I'm checking my time, then you're not going to get well. End of the story. That's all there is to it. And that was, how many times have we tried to tell this to our people under us in training, Nancy, right? I mean, do you not tell your people this? You have to change your mindset. You have to become emotionally stable and love yourself. And for most of the people there, it was really about seeing, again, how wonderfully made we are, and that biblically we have all the answers. Truly, that was the one thing I saw over and over, that biblically God has given us so many of the answers through his the fruits and the vegetables, and how he told us to eat, and how that alone can play such a big role, and how if you are willing to forgive and love one another, and think on these things that are holy and pure, and do this, that alone makes such a big difference. And so if you feel stuck in your Plexus business, really, so this really the guys definitely made it clear that we're talking life in general at this point, not just healing, but they were just telling us how important it is to take care of yourself and love your family, and be kind to people around you, and unplug, like, get away from the TV. That was a huge thing. Get away from the TV, get away from your phones, step outside, walk in the grass, ground your bare feet on the grass, and stand in the beautiful sun and get that sunshine. I forgot to go into vitamin D. I think there's probably a lot I forgot, but those are my main points. That's mainly what I took away from the whole thing, was that our products are amazing. They go hand in hand with prevention of so many amazing diseases, because when you balance your body is intended and created to heal itself. It knows what it's doing. So again, these products are not healing you cancer. They're not preventing cancer, but they are balancing your body so that your body knows what to do, because that's the main thing. I left completely empowered. I knew more than ever that I can handle whatever. I've never really been afraid of cancer anyway, because statistically we've all had cancer in our lifetimes. It's just whether or not your body and your immune system are strong enough to overcome it. But I left completely empowered, not only there, but I left just thanking God on how he created us, because we are so amazingly made, and we don't need that much to have the tools to heal ourselves. And all of us thankfully all of us love and we have our Plexus, and it made a huge difference in all of our lives. So I'm really excited by all that. And again, if you guys just remember one thing business-wise, it really is that step back and take a look at yourself, because if you're not growing, something is happening, and it's more than like, well, it's your fault. So there was a lot of like harsh words that were happening there, but they were very true. So take a step back and look at yourself, see what you're doing, and fix it. That's all there is to it. So I'm out of time and kind of ramble, but hopefully that was helpful. And there you go.
Thank you, Rikki. That was great. I learned a ton of stuff, and I know my mom, Miss Health Nerd over there, is like enjoying the living daylights out of herself. She can figure out how to get herself unmuted. She's trying to talk, but she can't figure it out.
Oh, that's funny.
You now?
You're unmuted.
I am. Oh, good. Oh, sorry about that. I'm still, I need some Plexus for technological abilities. That was so awesome and so fun and so wonderful. I am thrilled. And I'm also excited because I'm getting the videos of that symposium in the mail, hopefully really soon. And then I get to hear every juicy word that you heard. But it totally fits from all the books that I've read and everything else. So cool. And we are so blessed to be part of a simple way to help people. So
absolutely,
thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I love that you said it was simple. That's what I love about Plexus, is that it is so simple but so effective. And I feel like the creators, they just really they covered so many bases. Our products aren't just one thing; they have all these things in one. And I loved it. So my fear walking into it was I was going to find out something I didn't want to know, but that's not what happened at all. And I came away from it very excited by these products and more excited than ever to share. So thank you guys for having me, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for being on. I know everyone really enjoyed that. One thing I forgot to do was read our disclaimer, so I'm just gonna read that real quick since I forgot to do that at the beginning. But for those of you who've been watching, this workshop has not been for educational purposes only. It is for educational purposes only, and it's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any condition or disease. This event has not been sponsored by Plexus Worldwide, and people get results that vary from person to person. Plexus does not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease. So just disclaimer there, but we really loved all of the information you shared tonight, Rikki, and I hope everybody learned a bunch and took a whole bunch of notes and can really use this to change your lives and share with your loved ones who you may know that can be helped by all this amazing information too. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks for our next episode of Body, Mind, and Wallet. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.